Let's talk Tanya for the 10th of Shevat, Yud Shevat of a leap year. In yesterday's Tanya, we concluded chapter 18 and we explained how the relationship that we have with Hashem, because of the light of Hashem, the infinite light of Hashem, which shines within our souls, is a relationship that transcends logic. It is super rational. One of the implications of the fact that our relationship with God defies logic and is beyond that which can be understood is that nothing can ever make this love go away, and nothing can ever lessen this love. Think about it for a second. When you have a feeling, and if that feeling is based on a certain understanding that you have, then that understanding can change, that understanding can become stronger, that understanding can become weaker, the understanding can go away. And with that, the emotion will change, will become stronger, will become weaker, or might disappear altogether. But because this relationship that we have with God is not a result of anything that we understand, but it defies logic, so therefore it's just there to stay. And every one of us has it. And the obvious question is, if every single one of us has this love and this desire to connect to God, then why is it that we sin? Why is it that we mess up? And the answer is because this love, we described it as a hidden love. It's a ava misuteres. It's a hidden love. Yes, we all have it. But amongst people who sin, this love is hidden. It is covered up. The way the Alter Rebbe describes it, by a sack. And that sack is the self-centeredness of the animal soul, the klipa, the shell, the husk, which is the animal soul, which doesn't allow the godly soul and its love for Hashem, its natural love for Hashem, to be expressed. And that is why it is possible for a Jewish person to sin, despite the fact that every single Jewish person has that incredible, intense love for God. However, there is a time when this love, this hidden love, is revealed. And that is when a Jewish person is faced with a challenge. And the challenge is to reject and repudiate their relationship with God entirely. A person comes and says, either you convert out of Judaism, God forbid, you bow down to this idol, or if you don't do that, it will cost you your life. So historically speaking, Jewish people have always given up their life in such an instance, in such a circumstance. And why is that? Because at this point, when the godly soul feels threatened, it wakens up from its hibernation, its sleep, it's hidden under the shell of the animal soul, and it flexes its muscles. And when the godly soul, this love of the godly soul has for God, when it flexes its muscle, when it comes out in full force, the animal soul doesn't stand a chance. And this is very interesting we have over here, because when a person is presented with this ultimatum, either you reject God, your Jewish relationship with God, or it will cost you your life, we have over here the animal soul obviously is very, very interested in living, because if the animal soul is self-centered, the most important thing to the animal soul is to perpetuate itself and to continue existing. There can't be a self if the person is dead. The godly soul, on the other hand, it exerts itself and says, no. I want to be connected to God. And if I need to die in order to stay connected to God, so be it. In fact, that would be a big privilege and a merit for me to be able to die al kiddush Hashem, for the sanctification of God's name. So we have here this clash of the animal soul and the godly soul, each one of them with their core principles. And this is a zero-sum game. Winner takes all. And in this case, who wins? The godly soul wins, which gives us an understanding of just how powerful the godly soul is and just how deep its desires are. Which means, in other words, for a Jew, the desire to be connected to God is more important than the desire to live. So let's summarize where we are. This is the larger context over here. We're talking about the short way, which means this is a strategy which we can use in order to combat our animal soul and to be victorious over animal soul every day in our everyday interactions and everyday temptations. And the Alter Rebbe tells us that we can do so by tapping into the ava misuteres, the hidden love. But the problem is that we just found out that the hidden love is hidden, and it only is revealed when a person faces the test of mesiras nefesh, of giving up their life for God, because their very connection, their very relationship with God is threatened. So how do we leverage and tap into that love on an everyday basis when obviously we don't have that challenge on an everyday basis? Now, the answer to that question is going to take us another 6 chapters to get to that answer. We have a ways to go. But first, tomorrow, we are going to start chapter 20, and we're going to take a little detour for a few chapters. We need to talk about a different topic, called Achdus Hashem, and have a deeper understanding of God's unity. And once we have that, we'll be able to return to our to this question of how we can leverage the hidden love that we all have to be able to serve God at every time, at every point in our lives.